Hi, my name is Zalani. I am a licensed therapist and breakthrough life coach. This channel is for Black women visionaries who are already doing the work, but are still finding themselves feeling stuck, stagnant, and depleted. We are here to break through all of that. It is time to do a new thing and to create lives where we are flourishing and free. If this sounds like you, then you are in the right place. Welcome. Can I take a minute just to ask you to hit those buttons, the like, share, and subscribe buttons? It really helps the channel to grow and get my message out there, and you will not regret it. There's some great content coming up. Today's video is inspired by a beautiful artist inside and out called Alicia Renice. She's a fellow YouTuber, and her channel, Alicia Renice the artist, has some fantastic content. One video in particular really inspired me. It's entitled Black Girl Magic Did Not Save Me. In that video, she really goes into eloquently explaining how, for her life, she found herself exhausted and realized that she was living to somebody else's agenda, that she was burnt out and was not thriving in her life. I would argue that actually, as Black women, pretty much all of us are in that state. We have been being and doing for so long that we are burnt out. We are, as Alicia Renice puts it in that video, perpetually exhausted. And as she said, it's not something to be proud of, but as I say, it's also nothing to be ashamed of, and is entirely something we can heal and recover from. The Black Girl Magic movement was supposed to inspire us. It was supposed to be celebrating all things Black girl, all the things that we do just naturally. But what it actually did was reinforce the thinking and the views and the attitudes that keep us exhausted. It celebrates how powerful we are. It celebrates how much we can do in the world, how we can be anything we want to be, how we can do all the things for all the people in all the ways, and how we look good while we're doing it. And while these things are true, it actually negates completely the other side of our existence, where we also need to be nourished, where we need to be loved and held tenderly and cared for, and we need to be replenished. So in this way, when we look at the Black Girl Magic movement, it actually becomes quite harmful. At some point, Black women need to stop, raise our hands and say, I am done being strong. In fact, let's do that. So right now, I'm gonna raise my hand first and I'm saying, I'm done being strong. If you are with me in the comments, drop a comment below, write out your statement and say, I am done being strong. Let's make a stand for ourselves and let's change things in our lives. I think it's really time for us to begin to dismantle that whole system of Black women being the workhorse. Let's just take it apart. If you have a vehicle and you put that vehicle on the motorway or the highway and you drive that vehicle for mile after mile after mile after mile without stopping, at some point that vehicle is going to need some sort of intervention. It's going to need refueling, or it's going to need cooling down because it's overheated, or it's going to need a complete system overhaul, but it's going to need something, because going without stopping, there's nothing nourishing in that. Any driver knows, get to the side of the road, fix the vehicle, because actually that helps you in the long run. Black women, we have been the vehicle for other people for so long. We have been being and doing things for other people since the beginning of time, and we are tired, we are exhausted, and we need to stop being for other people all the time and start replenishing ourselves. On a car, you have warning lights, right? You have these warning lights that come on. If you're running out of petrol, your petrol warning light comes on, and it's like, get to a petrol station, I'm running out of gas or whatever. They're annoying, right? They're annoying, but they give us advanced warning that actually, you know what, we're heading into dangerous territory. Much like actually our bodies, we have whole warning systems within our bodies that tell us when things are starting to go wrong. There are two systems in our bodies called the sympathetic and the parasympathetic systems that do just that. Now, I'm not going to get into that in this video. If you would like me to go over that content and to talk through that, it's really fascinating stuff. Drop a comment below and I will happily make a video explaining that and actually how we can really use those systems to heal ourselves. But those systems are in place to warn us. And much like the car, if we do not respond to those warning systems, we're heading for dangerous territories, and in some way, something's going to give. The problem is, when you're in a perpetual state of exhaustion, you're so depleted that you can't even hear your own warning signs. I went to a friend's house recently, literally the other day, and as I went into a house, there was this shrill, shrieking sound coming from her smoke alarm because the battery was dying. And we were sat there and we were talking, and this thing was going off for ages. You know the sound, that really high pitched, like it's like the most ear-piercing sound. And I kind of said to her, I was like, are you not planning on changing your battery? Do you know she had no idea what I was talking about? She had been living in her home with this ear-piercing sound going off every few minutes for goodness knows how long. But she had become so desensitized to it that she just couldn't hear it anymore. This noise that was so imposing, she just couldn't take it in. She just couldn't acknowledge it. Her system just completely overrode it. And that's what happens when we're depleted. We can't see or hear our own warning signs within our bodies and within our beings. So we just keep going. We just keep on and keep on and keep on. And then one day, something happens. And it just sideswipes us. So what we need to do is we need to stop and get to the side of the road and to start to replenish our systems. What does getting to the side of the road look like? Well, it's the small interventions that we can do, the small things on an everyday level that we can do to really help ourselves to feel nourished, to have a little break, to do something different. It can be calling into work and saying, actually, I'm going to take some time off. It can be saying, I love my grandbabies, but I'm just not having them today. It can be saying, no, I'm not going to borrow you some money because I don't want to. It can be, I'm going to take a walk today. For different people, it's going to be different things. For myself, I know one of the things that really nourishes me is doing yoga and actually dancing around my living room and having what I call a one-woman rave. It's really nourishing, I tell you, try it. But these interventions, they will take us off the highway, get us to the roadside, and they will help us to feel small pockets of replenishment. Now, look, this is really, really good for us, and it will really help us, really help us. It's really great for our mental state and so on and so forth. However, what we need to remember is when we get to the roadside, it's a temporary stop. Do not try to be living by the roadside. Do not try pitching up a tent or building a house by the highway roadside. It's not going to be pretty. It's a short-term intervention that will help us in the short term. What we then need to do is actually think of ways of supporting ourselves on a grander scale, on a macro level, which involves changing the environment and ways of thinking and so on and so forth, which is the next step. But don't worry, that sounds daunting. I've got you. Stay subscribed, sign up, subscribe, hit those buttons, because in future videos, I will be talking about how we can actually do work on a grander scale in our lives and change things on a grander scale in our lives to create the lives that we really want, so that we're living in a state of healing, of growth, of nourishing and replenishment. Okay? So step one, get to the roadside. Do what you need to do to pattern interrupt. Get yourself to the roadside. Take the time. Step two, remember, being by the roadside is a short-term intervention. Step three, that's where the fun comes in and you start creating the life you really want. Now, let me give you one tool. Okay, I'm going to give you this fantastic, magical tool. It's not a magical tool at all. It's really not a magical tool. But the strongest word in the Black women's healing arsenal is the word no. The word no is a magical space creation word that will allow us to create space in our lives to get us to the roadside. No, I'm not coming into work. No, I'm not doing that. No, no, no. So I challenge you to start saying no today, right now, today. I want you to find one opportunity, at least, where you can say no to something. It doesn't have to be an aggressive, harsh no. It can be a really small no. Can you make me a cup of tea? No. No. And just try it and see how it feels. And when you've done that, drop a comment in the comment box. Let me know how it went for you. And then use that space to create for yourself. What are you going to do? When you say no to something, what are you going to create for yourself? So I hope that you found that really useful. I hope that we are able to get ourselves to the roadside in the first instance and then continue on the journey to create the grander picture and the grander healing. Thank you so much for listening. Again, hit the like, share, and subscribe buttons. Drop a comment in the comment box below. I really look forward to hearing how you are taking the time to heal yourself or to create pockets of replenishment as in the roadside assistance level of self-care. What are you doing to care for yourself? How are you doing that? My name is Zilani Anahisi. I am a licensed therapist and breakthrough life coach. It has been wonderful talking with you today. I really look forward to talking with you in future videos.